Hey, you know what I don't get, man? Like, I'm pretty good with all the numbers and the market stuff and, you know, the geeky stuff, but I watch people that parachute, what do they call that? Skydiving out the airplane? Now, I know physics now, but how come you don't hit your head on the back wing of the plane? You notice that? They just like jump out and magically fall below. You know what I mean? I'd be watching my head. It's something about physics, right? It's got to be physics. It's got to be physics. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. How you doing? Happy Monday. I get that when I do that, the mic is right there. Sorry about that. Hey, hope you had a good weekend. Got a lot of rest. You're ready to get started here today because we cover the stock market. Unlike other financial advisors that play golf and do other things, we're always here, always watching, love doing this stuff. So I will hope you'll join us here today, maybe learn a little something, and if we do, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. We do like when you do that. Hey, our classes, we do weekly classes for clients, and this Thursday, our class is actually going to be a little bit specific. The new tax proposals, how are we going to get around them if the tax proposals become true? So we've already done all of our planning. We're ready to go. What sort of tricks are we going to be offering to help you sort of navigate what's perceived to be higher income taxes for a lot of people? And so we're going to cover that. Also on our research site, if you want to join our research site, it's actually $13 a month if you want to join. We have a cool post that went out today, how the stock market performs around the tax season. Is there a correlation there between performance just before and just after tax season? So I hope you'll check that out. You don't have to be a client if you want to join. It's $13. If you are a client, don't pay for it. It's free. Everything we do here is included. And that's all I have for you. Looking forward to this week's class, by the way, the Wine and Wealth. So let's dive into the day. And I'm going to actually start with Bitcoin. Did you see Bitcoin over the weekend? The very definition of volatility, it fell over 50% from its highs. Good rally to finish the day, not arguing with that one there. Trades in a wild range throughout the weekend. There was fraud detected, where was that? Germany, I think, where developers walked away with $30 million just from pure fraud there. Just incredible, the volatility that Bitcoin has seen here in the last couple days. Hopefully putting in a low for all of you that like buying discounts there, because that's 50% discount. Just know what you're getting into. If you're trading that sort of thing, it is a trading vehicle. It is volatile, which you like when you're trading something. Also, the stablecoin Tether is getting more and more popular there. Its market cap has now hit a new high, about $60 billion between Friday and between today there. Just remember when you're looking at that stablecoin, if you happen to be participating in that or looking for one, they don't back their assets by dollar-based assets on a one-for-one basis. In fact, we don't actually know how much they back their coin by actual dollar-based assets. So it's not a one-for-one sort of thing. I think there'll be some more coming out on that one. Anyways, that's my Bitcoin talk for the day. Let's take a look today. NASDAQ was the leader today, back above the 50-day moving average there. Much needed rally or continuation of a rally after pulling back about 8% here over the last couple of weeks. The stocks inside the NASDAQ that needed a rally got a rally. That's probably the simplest way I can say it there. Now you have Apple, which still seems kind of stuck. I mean, we got a little bit of a rally today. It just seems stuck. Look at the last 2 weeks here. Not much of anything going on there. Amazon, we know, is stuck. I mean, this thing's just been stuck for months and months and months, not really achieving anything. But of the mega cap stocks, Microsoft looking the best here as far as waking up from its recent pullback, putting in hopefully a little bit of a bottom there, doing the best. And then you have Tesla. I'd say maybe this gets second place, right? It's trying to come off the lows. Better pullback for Tesla. But those big stocks that have been pulling back largely did okay today. So I don't really have arguments there. Semiconductors in the NASDAQ did well today also. Semiconductors back above the 50-day moving average. If you want to look through some of them, Applied Materials was one of the better ones there, 4.5%. NVIDIA, the bigger name out of the group, almost back to highs there, probably because it's a bigger name. Lam Research also doing really well. ASML, which is, these guys make the equipment that makes the chips, right? So they're not chip manufacturers in the traditional sense as a part of their whole part of their business. So ASML almost back to highs there as well if you want a more diverse kind of way to play this. And Micron, they had an event today, very interesting event, and the stock was up about 3%, just to name a few of the semiconductors out there today. If we look at the S&P 500, almost back to highs there, it's up 12% year to date. Most names actually enjoyed quite a bit of a gain today. The reopening stocks did all right, right? So if we look inside here and we go to, well, MGM is one of them. You probably think about that one, up 5%, one of the better performers today. That's on that Amazon deal carrying over from last week. You had Caesars. I don't know if you're a Gwen Stefani fan, but Caesars gets Gwen Stefani for one of the shows when they start reopening there. Stock's almost at highs. Very interesting technical pattern there. Series of equal highs, series of higher lows, trying to break out maybe there for you. Wynn got a handful of upgrades actually, so that one coming out of this downtrend ever so slightly there. Not too exciting, but not bad there. Other reopening names today did well, like cruise lines. We'll look at Norwegian Cruise Lines. It's choppy, right? But starting to pinch a little bit. They say that's a pinch where you have lower highs, higher lows. You've got a pattern that's looking for a decision, and that decision, looks like it's coming in the bullish fashion, but could be either or there. The White House says they have no plans on federal vaccination passports, is how they said that there. So that's good news for them. Royal Caribbean says, you know what, we're still going to require that you have these vaccines, the full dose of your vaccine. You're going to have that within 14 days of cruising. If you're 16 or under, then it goes to under 12 years age by August, I think. And then you have to have a COVID test even if you don't have the vaccine. But bottom line is you're not going on a cruise without the vaccine. That Royal Caribbean made that pretty clear, whether you agree or disagree. All right, you also have Cabot Oil. So interesting acquisition here today, or I mean, you have to say merger, right? So Cabot Oil is merging with Cimarex. XEC is the ticker symbol there. Both of them lower. They call it a merger of equals, basically. Well, the difference there is that Cabot Oil makes a profit. Cimarex didn't. So all in all, both of them pulling back on the day. I didn't really read into it too much else from there. But if we go back over and look at, the Russell and the Dow, that's, they pretty much duked it out here for third place here today, which is kind of funny because they're duking it out for first place year to date with gains of 13.5% and 12% respectively. I want to look at the dollar. We talked about the dollar last week a little bit. Erased all of Friday's gains, man. You thought, like, are we trying to put in a bottom here? No. Friday's attempt at a bounce got reversed here today, and the dollar continues to be very weak, very near some record lows. And then if you're looking overseas, A shares, China A shares, this is like our S&P 500 sort of thing over here. You got a rally off the 200-day, pointed that out last week there. They removed some foreign investment rules that allow the institutional investors to participate. That had always been a big thing over there, having outside money come into China. Well, they removed some of that, and that's helping fuel this rally just a little bit. Let's take a look at the sectors today, will you? I believe 6 of 11 sectors gained more than 1% on the day. It was tech and communication services, XLC and XLK, that were by far your leaders today, which is good because it's about 25% of the S&P 500. Big tech and the continuation of the semis rally really was the bulk of what you saw today. Almost all of them were green in the different sectors here. I'll point out Enphase, which didn't really participate, but you don't sort of mind because it's up over 20% in the last 5 days. The clean energy area just was okay, right? It didn't really get beaten down today. First Solar, you see that we talked about ICLN last week. You see how it was just kind of flat. There wasn't really much going on there. So that one stands out as being sort of an underperformer. Communication services there. Everything was strong today, minus some of the broadcasters. Look at Viacom, 1.5% to the downside. AT&T still shaking off the news from their deal last week. You got Fox, little tiny pullback, nothing there. Comcast and Charter were your standouts. If you happen to be playing in that space, Charter being the better performer and almost back to new highs there. Facebook in communication services and Alphabet were your biggest contributors. Got an interesting FinTips video coming up on Friday about these guys selling their shares, why they're doing it, how much they're selling, is it anything unique? We're going to talk about Zoom, Carvana, Alphabet, CrowdStrike, what we said, Alphabet, Facebook, Oracle. We're going to talk about all of them. I've got the graph for you ready to kind of check that out. All right, moving on here in the sector space, we got financials. Very clean, tight uptrend. Second place year to date. Remember, it's about 30% higher year to date. Energy is still the highest, around 40%. And that is going to be largely due to oil's recovery here today. Oil's recovery almost puts you back to highs there. Oil prices refuse to give you any kind of meaningful decline. And bad news, today, well, Sunday, going into today, the national average price of gas hit a new 6-year high, just over 6 years actually, $3.11. How do you fare? I know some Californians are pushing 4. You haven't seen a 4 in front of your tanks there in a while, but yeah, $3.11. Right, so cheap gas days are basically over. Also, gold continued its rally ever so slightly today. That's that breakout we talked about last week. Thought that looked kind of interesting. New highs and lows today are pretty self-explanatory. You had 27 of them. Financials are kind of where it's at in terms of the number of stocks on the list. You got Citigroup up 0.5%, of course, hitting new 52-week highs. CME Group did finish negative on the day. That's one of the exchanges in the financials. Remember, there's been that disconnect this year. Big financials, exchanges, right? They've been sort of playing back and forth there, so definitely a trader's sector at the moment. Morgan Stanley, another big bank that did hit new 52-week highs today, up 1.5%. And moving on to some other ones, just ADP broke out from this range. Yeah, you can see the range pretty good there. A little bit of a breakout, sort of average, right? It was just sort of a blah day that it broke out. No real excitement there. I would watch it, but I don't know that I'm excited about that one. And then Equity Residential, EQR is a ticker symbol. Here's a breakout to new highs. REITs did well today, by the way. If I could point that out, XLRE is one way to take a look at that. If we look at stocks in the news for the day, well, the weekend, you know, some of this stuff. Let's do your Virgin Galactic. A very respectable 30% gain on the day. They were rewarded today for that space flight they did on Saturday, I believe it was. They did it from their new spaceport in New Mexico. That's where they were. And I gotta say, I kind of like the way they're going to space a little bit better. Seems a little safer to me, the way we fly up there first, then the thing takes off. We, you know, look around the space a little bit and then bring me back home. I'm kind of into that. I don't know that I need to go up there and, you know, days and weeks go by. Just let me see it. I want to get right back home. Anyways, obviously a very good gain for them, well off the lows, which is kind of funny because remember early last week they said they had no timeline. They had $0 in revenue. They had no timeline for launching another flight, and then poof, they just, oh, here's another flight. So they're trying to show that they're moving quickly there, and good for them, right? So that's what you have there. ConocoPhillips, if it will pop up there. ConocoPhillips was in Barron's over the weekend. Said the company is focused on returning capital to shareholders, and Barron's loves it. So that's good for the stock. They think the stock's going to be a very good performer here, and we will see. I mean, I don't know. Their opinion just gets a lot of weekend headlines there. Kohl's, by the way, was in Barron's as well. They said that this price right here, 55, 60, somewhere in there, is a bargain. And they're basing it off of the discount from earnings. They said that that response to earnings makes this stock a discount at this level here. I'll leave that for you guys to decide. I'm just kind of pointing things out. And they also said you should buy AT&T even after the dividend cut. So I just thought I'd throw that one in there. Not sure if that's something you guys are looking for. Beyond Meats, very interesting. A tough one to get any attention lately. Remember when this was in the headlines nonstop? Well, back in the headlines. Up an even 10% on the day. Beyond Meats gets upgraded, and the guys that upgraded them, Alliance Bernstein, they upgraded the stock. They said that this is a reopening stock, right? You wouldn't normally categorize it as that, but now you've got to categorize this thing as a reopening stock. And, well, that's good enough for 10% on the day. I think there was a handful of other kind of upgrades or people saying, shoot, I guess I'll got to participate there. So we'll see. And then I covered the Royal Caribbean thing as far as stocks in the news. Got to have your vaccine, right? So I get an email every day, it seems like, from these guys. Stock was higher by about 3.5%. Airlines and all that stuff were higher. I didn't cover that, right? American Airlines, Delta Airlines, they were all higher, that reopening game plan that's going on. But I read at the bottom because it was like, hey, quick trip out to wherever. And I was like, what's the vaccination rules? What'd they decide on that? And that's what they decided. Got to have that proof of vaccine within 14 days. Of course, if you're 16 or older is where they're at with that. But reopening stocks did really, really well today. I will let the stream catch up here, cover a few other things, and take your questions. If you have questions, now is the time. AutoZone, we got earnings coming out. Cracker Barrel, love you some Cracker Barrel. Intuit with the earnings tomorrow after the close. That'll get some attention. Toll Brothers and Urban Outfitters Those will likely be the ones getting attention. Speaking of exchanges, 77 cents coming out from S&P Global. If you happen to own it, we do. So 77 cents there. And old Jack in the Box, 44 cents, man. Give him the 44 cents there. So let us see if we can answer some of your questions over here. Dr. Horton says, sell that news, man. Chlorine shortage, Kirk. Right? There's a big chlorine shortage, so you're going to go filling up your pool. It's going to cost you, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Game of chicken in the stock market, huh? Yeah, we do have a holiday week coming up here as well. Reportedly, people are traveling. I did just a little bit of calling around just for fun, pretending to be like, you know, a guy that was looking to hire a private jet, calling, you know, checking out some of the few airlines, rental car companies. I was just playing around. I got bored. I was just trying to see, like, could I book a car? Could I book a big one? Could I book the luxury car? Could I book the economy car? Just for fun. It's the life that I lead on the weekends there. But all busy. I mean, obviously, very busy. Plane ticket prices are up dramatically. So pretty crazy there. Enjoy your vacation if you guys are going, by the way. Yeah. Old Ray Dalio owns some Bitcoin. Who doesn't own some Bitcoin there? Lots of Bitcoin news over the weekend. That dominated the news, really. I mean, that was basically what we saw. When you get a discount like this, this creates excitement. That's why I want the markets to pull back a little, because you get people that say, that's it, that's the top, it's over. And you get people that say, this is the discount of a lifetime. I love that. I love that sort of stuff. So I found myself just kind of diving into that drama as well. Yeah. Doing real research. It's just this part of the blood, I guess. Yeah. What site is a good one to see how stocks perform before and after earnings? Before and after earnings, it's really just the data, if you want to look that up. Maybe, is it Earnings Whispers? They may have some stats there. Earnings, I think that's it. Earnings Whisper. Yeah, that used to be the popular one. Let me just make sure before, because it's earnings something. Yeah, Earnings Whisper. There you go. So that's a website. I don't know what data they have as far as the results, but it says they have results. Yeah. So that may be one. I don't know them or anything, so I just popped into my head. Yeah. Awesome, man. When you're looking at a breakout, do you prefer higher than average volume or lower? Jack, good question. I was always taught higher volume is better. But actually, and I did this a while ago, I had to bring this back. Actually, low volume breakouts return more. So there was a huge study done on that, and then I expanded on it and went from there. High volume breakouts return less. Still successful, but they return less overall. So you going for a bigger move or what? You know, that's the difference, which is so weird. You wouldn't think that an average to low volume breakout would have any real teeth, but that's where the action's at. And if I would credit whoever did that, because when we talked about this before, but whoever did that study, fascinating. Yeah, I love it. You can get business class and first class travel if you're vaccinated. The seat's available, right? Just everybody's spending money, by the way. If you just pick random, like, so I picked flights from Tampa and then I went to all nonstop destinations, right? And I used Delta for this. So what I did is I said, all right, I want to go on these different flights. I picked the flights that didn't say only have a few left, and then ones that say like only 3 seats remaining at this price. So I looked at those two, and then I tried to pick my seat. First class is booked, man. I mean, people got some dollars out there. They're willing to spend more money to have a slightly bigger chair. I don't know. I mean, so I looked up all this stuff just to see, and you might want to check if you're thinking about getting the vaccine to ride first class. The seat may not be available because people are spending money out there. Which, hey, good for you if you want to spend it. I think backwards. If everybody's spending money, I think I'll hold on to some for a while. Yeah. You like Enbridge for a buy? Do you own it? What's going on there? Help me out. So if you own it, and this is always tough for me to answer because I don't know where you stand. If you own it, you have no reason to really sell it, right? There's no fear. There's nothing here that says, oh my gosh, something's happening. Earnings aren't coming up for a while. They were already passed. This is your earnings drop right in here, it looks like. Right? Because the dividend's not that much, is it? 60 cents. Yeah. So that's the earnings drop right in there. So other than that, everything's done. Uptrend's intact. You expect that to stay intact. And you also would say, I bet you everybody uses the 50-day moving average as their trailing stop in this case. So maybe to take a look at there. If you're looking to start a new position, then you would think any pullbacks, even just a couple days or so inside of an uptrend, you get excited about, right? That's pretty tight uptrend. Yep. Kirk wants you to travel to Alaska. What did Biden say today? The cruise lines can start going to Alaska first. So maybe there's some deals there. Your vaccination, though. Make sure you got to get your vaccine. I guess, I don't know how you prove that. I guess you have a card or something if you're going to go on a cruise. Vaccination date. I saw some people getting tattoos of their vaccine date and everything on there. That come on. That's a little much, right? Would you get a tattoo of like a vaccine? You see that? They have their vaccine cards tattooed on their arm. Hundreds of people. Is that a what? Mark of the beast. Cody's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. All right, hey, I'll wrap it up there. I got you guys all fired up about the vaccine. You got to do what you got to do, right? So, okay, so that's what we got. Economy's reopening. Everybody's excited. All that reopening stuff did really well. Semiconductors making a strong comeback there. And unfortunately, oil, if you want low gas prices. I just report what I see. I'm not telling you. It's a little bit crazy there. Anyways, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Do this all over again. And see you later.